first victim. Just doesn't feel like it's going to work. Stab. Twist. Oh, look at that! That is totally worth it.
Now, a few weeks ago, I watched Stuart at Proper DIY do some lawn maintenance, and one of the things that he used was this Fiskars Xact weed puller. It looks so cool that we bought my mother-in-law one, and then I wanted one too. So I'm going to show you how we've been getting on with it. I'll admit I've never seen one of these before, and I probably had my head in the sand because there seems to be quite a few on the market on Amazon anyway. This one's 1 metre tall with an ergonomic handle. It's part aluminium, or aluminum, and plastic with stainless steel prongs, and mine weighs just over 900 grams, but it's also available with a straight handle or a telescopic one. And the idea is that you see a weed, then you creep up on it, and you stab, twist, kill. Stab, twist, kill. Sorry, I mean stab, pull and remove the weed from the root without the need for chemicals.
It worked.
And no need to bend down because you've got that plastic foot pedal allowing you to anchor it into the ground, and once you've got it you can eject it straight into the bin using the handles lever. But how did we find it? Well, even though my husband and I don't consider ourselves as gardeners, we actually found it one of the most satisfying gardening tools we'd ever used. Okay, so we don't have a lot to compare it to, but we were both stood waiting in turns for the other one to finish so the other one could have a go. And because I favour landscape gardening projects rather than maintenance work, you can imagine how many weeds we had, and within an hour we'd managed to fill 6 washing up bowls. Now, we did this on a fairly dry day. Later, when I returned after a rainfall, the ground was softer and it was easier to remove them. Also, for those that don't know, I have patella tendinopathy at the moment, and with that repetitive put your foot on the pedal, I did get a slight irritation, so I'd keep trying to alternate between feet, although I found it better to push down with my heel first. But it's better than de-weeding on your hands and knees. But one of the things I don't like about it is I'm 5'4", and while I'd grab a dandelion, I had a tendency to hover over to check I was central on it, and I really think it'd be more beneficial if the arm was about 20 centimetres taller. But we were so impressed that it managed to remove most of the weeds. But where did it struggle? Now, if your weeds are more feral like ours were, we noticed that some of the areas had multiple weeds competing for the same spot. And by the time we'd removed the first one, there was less ground for the prongs to jab in and wrap round the weed's roots. And because we had to do that multiple times, we'd be left with a good selection of holes in the garden, from small to quite large. Also, the really fine weeds that we'd find, they were so small that some of them would slip out of the prongs, meaning that we'd have to bend down anyway to pick them up. And sometimes it would struggle near an edging like paving or gravel boards, where I'd then need to go and pull it out by hand. And if you have a huge garden, it's probably not going to be the most efficient way to remove them all. So now I've got lots of different holes. I'm adding some lawn repair with a mix of grass seed and fertiliser, and hopefully that will recondition it over the next few weeks. 3 days later. The dandelions are back. So quick. I suppose due to it being a pet-friendly way to de-weed a garden, it definitely seems like it's going to be a job for life. But if it keeps you fit, then surely that's a good thing. Or have I fallen for a gimmick?